In the headlines, Federal High Court in Damaturu nullifies 2 APC primaries in Yobe. Bandits attack farmers, kill 1, injure 2 in Katsina community. Federal government provides 470 billion naira for upward adjustment of lecturers' salaries. And on the foreign scene, Russian President Putin declares martial law in annexed regions of Ukraine. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And we begin with politics, where the Federal High Court in Damaturu, Yobe State Capital, has nullified the All Progressives Congress primary elections for Fika East and Jakusko state constituencies for non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act. The presiding judge, Justice Fadima Murtala, consequently gave the party 14 days to conduct fresh primary elections for the 2 constituencies. In a related development, the Yobe North APC senatorial aspirant Abubakar Jinjiri has withdrawn the suit he filed against the senatorial candidate Bashir Sharif Machana, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and the APC over party primary. Justice Murtala, in her ruling, held that Jinjiri has the right to file the notice of withdrawal, adding that the notice of discontinuance was valid. She accordingly dismissed the case as prayed by Machana's counsel. Ahead of 2023 elections, some Nigerians are worried about political defections activities of politicians. In Makurdi, Benue State Capital, residents say cross-carpeting from one political party to another is not helping Nigeria's democratic journey. The report.
Makurdi residents say the idea is not for the good of the people, but for personal interest.
I strongly feel that people who move from one political party to another do it because of the personal interest or the personal gain they will have. Supposing a person that is campaigning for a political seat comes and gives them a better offer, they leave the previous party they were in and move to the next party because of what they will gain. I'm not really sure if I'm in a position to tell them, please stay in one political party because this is the right man. But they know what they are gaining. And what if I say they should stay there and they don't have enough food to eat, or the person disappoints? Oh no, there are so many things that are involved that are at stake. So, but I feel that the masses should look into it. They should do what is right. They should not just keep jumping because somebody is offering them peanuts. Because in the long run, this money will finish. The amount of money they are giving you will soon finish. But a good nation will always stand.
Others say, although freedom of association is guaranteed, all the politicians are, however, teaching the younger generation bad examples. They call on party men and women to learn from the past and make the polity ideal.
Of choice, because each person has his own choices of making things in life. But if you ask me, I'll say it's not right, because these are the same people that will leave the political party they are into to move to another party, and they will still do the same thing they were doing in that previous party. They are the ones who are supposed to lead us, so they should do the right thing. If they are based in one party, then they should be in one party, not moving from one party to the other. Then
I don't see it as any way of probably stabilizing the government, which we see right now as maybe not stable, because all these people, all the politicians defecting from one political party to another, are still the same people going to form another party under maybe probably another name, and as a result, all the things that we've experienced in the previous government when they were in the previous party still occurring.
Since 1999, defections from one party to another has been a prominent political feature on the eve of elections. And yet, the socio-economic landscape of the country is still not yet near what it should be.
On security, 10 bandits on 3 motorcycles armed with AK-47 rifles attacked farmers at Sabangari in Batagarawa local government area of Katsina State, killing one person. Sabangari village is 3 kilometers away from the ancient city of Katsina. The terrorists attacked the farmers on Wednesday morning while they were busy harvesting their farm produce. 3 other people who sustained gunshot injuries are receiving medical attention at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Katsina. The fear of uncertainty has gripped the villagers, with many relocating to Katsina. At least 40 terrorist food suppliers have been arrested by multinational Joint Task Force operatives. The suspects were arrested during an intelligence operation carried out by troops of Sector 3 of the task force in the Lake Chad region. A statement on Tuesday by the Chief of Military Public Information Office, Lieutenant Colonel Kamaruddin Adegoke, said a total of 466 bags of beans and corn, among other large quantities of food items, were intercepted by the troops. Adegoke said a follow-up on the operation led to the discovery of another 300 bags of beans and 100 bags of corn, adding that the seized items had been destroyed. He added that in another incident on October 11, troops of 68 Battalion on a joint patrol with Civilian Joint Task Force along the Malam Fatori, Bandamari, Bari, Korarawang axis discovered and confiscated 12 bags of fish and 9 donkeys suspected to be used in ferrying supplies to the terrorists hiding in the Lake Chad Basin. Still on security, Bauchi State Police Command has arrested a 20-year-old suspected kidnapper, Abubakar Isa, at Ganjua local government area with 8.4 million naira cash suspected to be proceeds of ransom. Commissioner of Police Umar Sanda paraded the suspect and other criminals at the police command headquarters in Bauchi. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has details.
The commissioner said that exhibit recovered includes 8,466,000 naira cash, 1 SMG rifle with 92 live ammunitions, 1 empty magazine rifles, 7.62 million caliber of live ammunitions, among others. While answering questions from journalists, the suspect insisted that he is innocent of the crime, though he agreed that all the exhibits were found in his possession at the point of arrest. According to him, he is a cattle rearer and was contracted by one Ibrahim, who is now at large, to go to another village to rear some animals for him.
Wani aiki kake za ka iya samu wannan kudin haka? Wanda aikin da kake zai zama. To ka ce kudin nan na mai gidanka ne kai za ka raka shi ne. Amma kiwo zai kai ni ba raka sai zan yi. Kiwo zai kai ka zuwa ina? Ya baka ajiya ne. Ya aka yi ka san da kudin nan da kuma wayoyin da aka samu guda 18 a wajen ka, me za ka iya fara? Ban san da su ko da aka kama ni.
Umar Sanda explained that all effort to get him to reveal whereabouts of his boss and others to be traced and arrested proved abortive.
This meeting once more again, especially with regards to this defacement of your opponents' billboards or posters. Anybody that we find in that regard, wallahi, you will go to jail. I will send you to jail and you will be out of circulation until the election process is over.
In another development, the Commissioner of Police, during an interactive session, warned all political parties to eschew violence and desist from defacing posters of political opponents across the state.
It therefore requires deploying all the assets at our disposal in the quest to protect criminal activities in the state. We remain resolute and relentless and undoubted in carrying out our constitutional mandate to ensure a safer Bauchi State.
He also maintained that all quasi-security outfits are not allowed to participate during the electioneering process, saying anyone found wanting will be dealt with. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In crime, police in Zamfara State have arrested 11 suspects for various offences ranging from banditry, arms deal and political thuggery. The public relations officer of the State Police Command, Superintendent Muhammad Shehu, who paraded the 11 suspects, said the police tactical operatives acted on intelligence information. The report.
The public relations officer of the Zamfara State Police Command, Superintendent Muhammad Shehu, said that the police tactical operatives acted on credible intelligence, leading to the arrest of 4 terrorists who have been terrorizing innocent citizens along Safi Funtua Road. He said that the police operatives also apprehended a terrorist informant and a gunrunner who specializes in supplying arms and ammunition to the terrorists at Kucheri area of Zamfara State. Abubakar Buda, a 32-year-old who hails from Zuru local government area of Kebbi State, is the suspected gunrunner who has been using a Golf vehicle, dark color, to convey the firearms and ammunitions from Jos, Plateau State, to a terrorist leader named as Chumo at Kucheri community of Zamfara State.
The command, in an effort to curtail the situation and arrest the perpetrators, mobilized its tactical operatives, where 5 suspects in possession with locally fabricated guns, who also attempted to shoot at the police operatives, were arrested in connection with the alleged crime.
The police further said that 5 suspected political thugs were arrested over alleged killing of 1 person and leaving 11 others with injuries last Saturday when APC and PDP political thugs clashed in Gusau metropolis.
That armed political thugs were shooting sporadically at innocent people, which resulted to the killing of 1 person and about 11 were injured and now at the Specialist Hospital Gusau, where they are responding to treatment.
Items the police tactical operatives recovered from the suspects include 4 locally fabricated guns, 1 AK-47 rifle, 100 rounds of AK-47 live ammunition, 7 cartridges, a cutlass, 2 motorcycles, 4 handsets, 1 walkie-talkie radio, 140,000 naira, and a bunch of charms.
In education, the federal government has provided 470 billion naira special fund in the 2023 budget for university revitalization and upward adjustment of lecturers' salaries. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, made this known at a briefing in Abuja on Wednesday. The sum of 300 billion naira is for university revitalization and 170 billion naira for upward adjustments of the university lecturers' salaries. According to her, the draft 2023 budget has been prepared on the background of international challenges such as the Russian-Ukraine war and COVID-19 pandemic, adding that revenue generation has been a major challenge to national development in the country. Meanwhile, academic activities is yet to commence at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University after the Academic Staff Union called off its 8-month-old strike. A visit to the university saw new intakes trying to complete their clearance and registration, while few students were spotted receiving lectures outside the faculty building. Although normalcy is yet to return to the school as overgrown weeds show the school premises has been unattended to for a long while, students and lecturers are happy to be back.
People have been owed 8 months of salaries, and some of them are outside the state, some of them are outside the town. They have family, they have responsibility. So we're watching to see how it will play out, because you know that members are hungry. They need money to fuel and find their way into the school to take up their responsibilities as academics.
We got into the classroom, but we discovered that the classroom was not properly cleaned. Attending this very class, that should be a bonus for the students.
I'm glad to be back. Unfortunately, the 8 months was like madness. The students missed us, we missed the students, but we're happy to be back.
I actually expected people to show up in full force and all that, but when I came here, everyone was just scanty.
It's not an easy experience doing this strike. This strike period, you can see the school environment, you can see how untidy and how grass is growing up.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Reversing brain drain in Nigeria's health sector. Do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that Federal High Court in Damaturu nullifies 2 APC primaries in Yobe. We also told you that bandits attack farmers, kill 1, injure 2 in Katsina community. Moving to other stories, as the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration inches closer to an end, the federal government on Wednesday launched the PMB scorecard in Abuja. Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, and the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, brought to light some of the infrastructural achievements made during President Buhari's tenure. The presentation was focused on road infrastructure, where he brought updates on the progress, condition of major highways, and some challenges faced. Fashola also addressed the issue of abandoned projects.
This nomenclature about abandoned projects. And my conversation with people is, if you look at the meaning of abandoned projects, of abandon, to abandon something, it means to forsake. We have not forsaken any project. But the truth is that there are not enough resources to finance all of them at the same time. So perhaps we want to redesignate the nomenclature to uncompleted projects, because we have not forsaken them. They were designed for certain constituencies. As revenues improve, priorities also, when we're talking about infrastructure, whether it is roads, whether it is bridges, whether it is fiber for communication, whether it is classrooms for schools, clinics for healthcare, airports, and all of that. We are really talking about the economy, because it is the total stock of infrastructure that determines how efficient that economy is.
Moving to health, Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed 937 cases of Lassa fever and 173 deaths across the country. This is contained in the agency's situation report for week 40, obtained on Tuesday. The report indicates that the cases were reported in 26 states and 104 local government areas. Lassa fever is a viral hemorrhagic fever and an acute viral illness. Experts say the disease has a high morbidity and mortality rate, as well as economic, health, and security implications. The need to arrest the loss of skilled individuals in the health sector to developed countries through brain drain was the focus of a national symposium in Abuja. Organized by the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies in collaboration with the Development Research and Project Center and other stakeholders, the symposium discussed practical solutions to ease the burden. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
Leading advocates, experts and stakeholders at this national symposium say to stem the negative tide of human capital flight of Nigerian medical practitioners to other climes, push factors such as poor funding of the health sector, stressful medical education, impediment of the National Youth Service Corps to medically trained doctors, poor remuneration in the face of high inflation, unhealthy rivalry in the health sector, insecurity, among others, must be addressed.
Well, we'll understand that we may not have the very, very good environment that they expect us to have. Government still has a role to play, and even individuals still have roles to play to show that they care about Nigeria. The health sector of Nigeria is very, very important if we are going to have a productive national economy.
Seeing that even nurses, midwives, and some community health workers have, joined the pattern of migration. If Nigeria is to achieve universal health coverage and take health to the hard-to-reach areas, we have to start to think positively about the human resource for health gap that's now widening. One of the things that we'll start to see is that there will be inequalities. People at the periphery and the peri-urban centers won't have access to, health care, unlike people who are in the urban centers.
Issues of sustaining child, maternal, family planning, as well as getting more young women into the healthcare field also got priority attention.
If we want to really improve the healthcare situation, especially at the primary care level and for women's health, we need to ensure that girls have the same opportunities for economic growth and to enter. We have to facilitate and encourage them to join healthcare workforce.
But to ensure medical practice is more attractive in the country, there is the need to implement favorable government policies, incentives and better remuneration.
When you talk about funding the health sector, if Nigeria and other governments, head of governments in Africa in 2001 met in Abuja and agreed that it will take 15% of annual budget to properly run the health sector in Africa, why are we still talking of 5%, 4.5%? 2023 is 5.75%.
The Federal Ministry of Health says it is working to identify strategies and mechanisms for sustainable financing as part of a wider search for solutions.
So government is looking for a way to increase the facilities, improve the infrastructure, improve incentives to be able to attract some of these personnel back to Nigeria. And then the issue of bonding, having trained a very high proportion of these people with government or taxpayers' funds.
As part of efforts to enable Nigeria to achieve universal health coverage by 2030, the Presidential Health Reform Committee is set to review and implement recommendations at the symposium to improve the country's workforce. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Women farmers in Bauchi State have called on the federal government to dedicate 10% of the nation's annual budget to agriculture in order to salvage the country from food insecurity. The women under the aegis of the Association of Small-Scale Agro-Producers in Nigeria made the call shortly at a briefing to mark the 2022 World Food Day in Bauchi. Adamu Imam reports.
According to the association, women constitute over 70% of the entire agricultural labor force and involved in every aspect of the value chain. They, however, noted that over the years, small-scale farmers face numerous challenges that hamper productivity.
10% of the annual budget should be dedicated to agriculture, and this is not happening. So we are urging the federal government to at least give us 10% of the annual budget for agriculture.
One of the things that we've been advocating to the state government, if extension farmers can be sent into local and different communities to help those women so that they will tell them where they have challenges and where they need to improve in their produce. I think it will also go a long way.
Some of the problems identified by the women farmers include lack of fertilizer and farm implements, insecurity, as natural disasters such as flood.
and not always say it. We need releases. It's not issue of putting it in the budget is different, and issue of releases and implementing the budget is something.
And secondly, we talked about the insecurity. Because of this issue of herdsmen, that has been a lot of challenges. Women are afraid to go to the.
The small-scale farmers emphasize the need for the state and the federal government to place priority on the larger population that holds the key to changing the narratives on food security. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
On the international scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has declared martial law in Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia, 4 regions of Ukraine that Russia proclaimed as annexed last month. In televised remarks to members of the Security Council on Wednesday, Putin said they were working on solving very complex, large-scale tasks to ensure a reliable future of Russia. Putin did not immediately spell out the steps that would be taken under martial law, but said the measures were intended to increase the stability of the economy, industry and production in support of Russia's special military operation in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak rejected the move and said Kyiv would continue its counteroffensives against Russian forces in Ukraine. And finally, in sports, some physically challenged athletes on Wednesday staged a protest in Surulere area of Lagos, causing a gridlock that kept motorists on the roads for hours. Many who were on their way to work were forced to abandon commercial vehicles and trek long distances to beat the traffic, especially along Funshaw Williams Avenue. The protesters were airing their displeasure about the alleged removal of some sports from the forthcoming National Sports Festival. The aggrieved athletes gathered at the National Stadium, insisting that all the para-sports exempted from the festival must be included. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to connect with us on all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.